Hello and welcome to Wedding Wednesdays with Weddings Online. My name is Kelly and I'm a former wedding planner and blogger, and I'm obsessed with weddings. If you're planning a wedding in Ireland, you're in the right place. You're going to learn the tried and tested methods to planning your dream wedding without the added stress. Think of this as your one-stop shop for everything to do with planning your wedding in Ireland. With me, your new wedding planning bestie, and a cup of tea. This is Wedding Wednesdays with Weddings Online. Well, hello and welcome to a new episode of Wedding Wednesdays with Weddings Online. My name is Kelly, I'm your host, and I have a special 30-day countdown just for you. So if it is your final month before your big day, then this is the podcast episode to listen to, because I'm going to run through 20 things that you've got to do. And this is not to overwhelm you, but this is to actually help you feel like you are completely in charge of everything that you've got left to do over the next 30 days before your wedding. So let's get right into it. Item number 1, get your final head count. It's really important to let your caterer know how many people are coming to your wedding. It's also helpful for you to start creating your seating plan and to finalize, how many wedding favors you need and all the details that are associated with knowing exactly how many guests you're having. So now's the time to chase those RSVPs if you haven't already done so. So get your final head count in. Item number 2, go for your last dress fitting. So whatever outfit you've decided to wear for your wedding, whether it's multiple outfits, a dress, a suit, a jumpsuit, a play suit, or anything in between, now's your chance to book in your final dress fitting or outfit fitting to make sure that you look great in your outfit. My piece of advice is do your hair and makeup for the fitting because you want to feel extra pretty, extra special. It'll help you to get a better idea of how amazing you're going to look on the day. But if you show up with your hair dirty and all over the place and no makeup and you're wearing underwear that doesn't fit you very well and you're wearing Crocs, you're probably not going to feel your best. But make a point of just looking really good for your final fitting. And if you can, wear your wedding heels, or at least wedding or heels that are the same height as your wedding heels, just to make sure that you understand the height of your dress compared to how tall you're going to be on the day. Item number 3, speaking of looking and feeling your best, book in your final beauty appointments. So if you are going to do anything like teeth whitening or spray tan, maybe you're going to get a manicure or a pedicure or even a relaxing massage just to help, ease your way into your wedding day, book all those appointments now. The people who do the different appointments with you will have a clearer idea of exactly when you should have them. So for example, if you're going to get waxed, there's a specific timeline for that. If you're having spray tan, there's also a specific timeline for that because you don't want to get the tan all over your dress, but you also don't want it to start fading too soon. So in the final 30 days, I recommend that you contact all the different people who you're having these appointments with, get their input and their advice on exactly when to book each element in, and then get those booked in so that you don't have to worry about them anymore. Item number 4, touch base with all your suppliers. So it's always a good thing about 2 weeks before the wedding to give each supplier a call or an email or both, just to check in. You want to make sure they know what time they need to arrive. You just want to confirm that they've got the exact address of where they're arriving. Make sure that they know what they need to bring, and just check if there's anything else that you need to arrange for them. The last thing you want to do is to get to the wedding day and you don't actually know who knows where they've got to be. Of course, that won't be your problem on the day. That's where the wedding coordinator or venue coordinator will come in and they'll sort that out for you. But it's always good to touch base about 2 to 3 weeks before the wedding, just to make sure everyone's on the same page. Item number 5, create your wedding day timeline. Now, this is a great thing to do because you're going to create a timeline from the start of the day all the way through to the end. And you've probably already had input from your photographer and from your venue for some of the key elements of the day, like, when the meal will be served or when you're going to have your portrait photos taken. Maybe you want some sunset pictures. All of those kinds of big times have probably already been nailed already, but you want to spend some time going through all the bits in between. What time do you want to have your first dance? What time do you want to cut the cake? All the elements in between. When do you want to have speeches? Do you want to have them before the meal, during the meal, after the meal, or kind of spread across all of it? Now's a good time to have a think about that. We do have an episode all about the wedding day timeline, and I'm going to drop a link to that so that you can have a listen, you can get some input about how to build your wedding day timeline and all the factors to consider when you do that. Item number 6 is pack your emergency kit. There's so many things that could happen on the day, and having an emergency kit is always helpful to make sure that you are fully prepared. Things like painkillers, extra hair clips, could be some clear nail polish in case you get, a hole in your stockings. Clear nail polish is a good way to actually stop them from spreading. It could be, a spare shirt or an extra tie or a little thing of deodorant or a spare set of your lipstick or mascara, whatever it is, all the little things that you might need. Pack them up into an emergency kit and allocate that kit to one person who's going to hold on to it for the day, because that's not your job to hold on to it, but you want to know where it's going to be in case you need something. Item number 7, create your seating chart. Now, your RSVPs should already be coming in, so you'll know exactly who's coming. You'll be able to piece together where they're going to sit, and I'll drop a link so I can give you some more input on exactly how to do that in a way that's helpful for everybody and they all feel comfortable and happy with where they're sitting. Item number 8, finalize your wedding favors. So now, of course, now that your RSVPs have come in, which is why that was the very first thing we spoke about, you'll know how many favors you're going to be giving away so you can order them. Now is also the time to think about all the extra things associated with your favors. For example, are you going to have any ribbons or labels or any other kind of personal touches that you want to put onto your favors? If you're going to wrap them up in some way, you can always get your wedding party together and you can piece together all your wedding favors as a group. So it's not just you and your partner doing it. But now's the time to consider what you're doing for your favors. Item number 9, order your wedding programs. So chat with your stationery supplier, make sure you got your programs, get them designed and printed. Of course, this is why we've already made the wedding timeline for the day before, because the timeline is now finalized and you can therefore create your wedding programs. Item number 10, send your song list to your band and DJ. So these would be key songs. Like if you're going to have a specific song playing as you walk into the reception venue, if there are any other special moments like your first dance song, or if you're going to have a special moment with your dad or your mom, any special songs, make sure you've got those listed along with your timeline so that the band and DJ know exactly when the songs are going to be played. And my piece of advice, don't forget to add a list of any songs that you don't want to have played at your wedding. I am not a fan of the Grease medley. I don't know why people play it. It's this thing that I've, around the time of our wedding, every other wedding I went to, they played the Grease medley, and I just really didn't like it. So I put that on my list of songs not to play. So if you have any songs that you really don't like, whether those are reasonable or not, put them in a list. It's your day. You don't want to be bombarded with a song you don't like. And make sure the band and DJ know what that song is. Item number 11, confirm your shot list with your photographer. So it could be a list of must-have photos, things that you really, really want the photographer to capture, as well as your family photos list. So what we did for our family photos, and what I highly recommend other couples do, is you have a very specific list of who's in the photos. So it's not enough to just say gran and grandpa and couple. You actually need to write their names out so that whoever's calling people doesn't just say gran, they're saying, Daphne, this is your photo, come forward. And then have somebody on your side of the family and somebody on your partner's side of the family who knows all those people. And they can be going up to Granny Daphne and saying, your photo's coming up soon, can you get ready? And then when the photographer says, Daphne, it's time for your photo, she's already prepared and ready, she can slot in. It just makes everything go by so much quicker, it's more smooth, and you don't end up having extra family members join in who aren't supposed to be there, and then people who are meant to be there are somewhere else. It just makes it go so much smoother. Item number 12, check in with your wedding party. So you want to remind them about any outfits they've got to pick up, if they need to buy anything like shoes or accessories, or if you're planning on giving them something like shoes and accessories, you can say, don't worry about your shoes and accessories. I've got that covered. They don't need to know what you're doing if it's a surprise. But you just want to make sure they're not spending money on items that they're actually not going to need. But just check in, see how they're doing. Check that they know everything they need to know, including where they've got to be, when they've got to be there, who's driving whom, all of that kind of thing. Just make sure they know everything that they need to know and give them a chance to ask any questions if they've missed any information. Speaking of where people need to be, Item number 13 is confirm your transport. So whether you are hiring a transport company with a very fancy car, like a limo or a vintage car, or you're having friends and family drive you around, make sure that whoever's driving you knows exactly where they're picking you up, what time they're picking you up, and what time you need to be at your next location. So that is everything from getting from wherever you're getting ready to your ceremony location, and then from your ceremony location to your reception location, and then from your reception location to wherever you will be after that. Of course, if your wedding is happening in one location, it makes it so much easier, but you still need to know who's getting you to that location and what's happening with extra cars. If you and your partner are coming separately but leaving together in one car, what's going to happen? Just give all of that a little bit of thought and make sure that everyone involved in the driving just knows what they've got to do. Item number 14, write your thank you notes to your bridesmaids. We actually did a whole episode about thanking your wedding party and just special things that you can do to make them feel amazing on your wedding day. So I will drop a link to that so that you can get a little bit of inspiration, but there's nothing quite as special as a handwritten thank you note to each individual person in the wedding party to say, thanks for being my friend, thanks for being on this journey with me, and thank you for your input in the wedding day specifically. And you want to name specific things that they've done and really honor them for those things and just thank them for the role that they've played in the wedding. They'll feel really, really special. Speaking of thanking people, item number 15 is write a note to your spouse-to-be. Take some time to write something special. It could be a gift that you give, or even just the note, just to say, I'm so excited to marry you. I can't believe our big day is here. And find a way to get that note to your spouse-to-be so that on the morning of the wedding day, they can pick up the note and read it and then just feel really excited with you. Item number 16, confirm the ceremony plan with your celebrant or solemnizer. So you want to sit down with your celebrant or solemnizer and talk through the timeline for your ceremony. You want to go through things like readings you're having, anybody who you're inviting to come up and do a reading, things like your vows, the order of the service, and any other special things that you've arranged. Just get their input. Your celebrant and solemnizer will be amazing resources to help you work out exactly what order everything should be and how to do everything the right way so that if you are getting legally married on your wedding day, they'll make sure that you tick all the boxes. So have a chat with them and make sure that you know exactly what you need to do and they know what they need to do. Item number 17, practice your first dance. Even if you've done professional lessons and you feel ready, it's always a good thing to practice the dance a few times in the lead into the wedding. I recommend doing it at least one time, if not more, in your wedding shoes, just to make sure that you know you can do all the twirls and spins and everything in your wedding heels if you've never done that before. Item number 18, confirm your honeymoon plans. Now, this is especially important if you're going on your honeymoon right after your wedding day. If you're not, and there's going to be a little bit of time, and maybe you're doing a mini moon or even just a couple of nights away right after the wedding, confirm those plans, and the big honeymoon plans can wait until closer to the time. But the things that you want to go through are, anything to do with flights or passports or activities that need to be booked ahead of time. Don't forget to make a packing list just so that, a couple of days before the wedding, you're not frantically thinking, what do I need if I'm going to the beach? But you've got a list and you can just rattle through the list and tick your items off. We've got 2 more items left on this list. Item number 19, drop off all your extras. So think about things like unity candles, a guest book, sparklers. All those items have to get to the locations that they need to be at and they need to be labeled properly. So make a list of everything that's going to your ceremony location, a list of everything that's going to the reception location, put them in boxes, make sure the boxes are labeled, and make sure that your wedding coordinator, your wedding planner, your venue coordinator, and one member of the wedding party, they all know what's going where and what needs to be set up in which particular way. And the final item on the to-do list is breathe and take it all in. You're about to get married. In a month's time, you are going to be married. So don't allow the season to rush by too quickly. Your big day is coming. You want it to last. You want to feel fully present on the day. So breathe, take it all in. and just enjoy the moment, enjoy getting married, and just give yourself a moment to really soak it all in and not to rush past it too quickly. And so you can start breathing and taking it all in, even in the month leading up to the wedding. But don't forget, especially on the day, just enjoy yourself. Everything's going to come together just perfectly. Well, thank you for listening today. The Wedding Wednesdays with Weddings Online podcast is produced by me, Kelly, and mixed, mastered, and edited by Glenn Hartman. For more wedding planning tips, advice, checklists, and more, visit weddingsonline.ie.